Hi, I'm Sebastian Gomes, host of Salt and Light's book show Subject Matters, and here's my take on Hurting in the Church, A Way Forward for Wounded Catholics by Father Thomas Berg. Now, Father Tom is a professor of moral theology and also Vice-rector of St. Joseph's Seminary in Yonkers, New York. He's also a former Legionary of Christ who, as you know, was hit by a major sexual abuse scandal about 10 years ago involving their founder, Marcial Maciel. Now that's very important because through that experience it affected Father Tom so dramatically that he ended up leaving the Legion and becoming a priest of the Archdiocese of New York. And through that experience, Father Tom learned that there is a huge number of Catholics, people in the church, who are hurting for a variety of reasons, not only sexual abuse. People are used and manipulated in different ways in ministry. There's a lot of people who are hurt by the way the church speaks about them as people. They feel isolated, they feel unwelcome, and all of this pushes people away from the community, which is obviously not a good thing. Father Tom believes that this is a huge issue in the church and one that most Catholics are not attuned to. So he offers some really practical advice for moving forward, and not only as an individual, which is important, but also as a community of faith as a whole. Some key points I want to point out about this book. First, he lets the voices of those who are hurting themselves speak in the book. So he gives examples and shares stories and testimonies. And that's very important because Father Tom is all about fulfilling what Pope Francis calls this revolution of tenderness. And in order for that to happen, it has to start with listening. And Father Tom believes especially listening to the voices of those who are hurting the most. Secondly, this book is deeply honest, and in the Catholic Church it's not always easy to be honest with ourselves. We can sometimes hide behind traditions or attitudes that say, well, this has always been the way things are, so it's impossible to change. And Father Tom forces us to take a long, hard look in the mirror at how we have contributed to systems and ways of thinking that perpetuate this kind of hurt in the Church. Father Tom calls it a collective examination of conscience that we need more than ever. Now, at the same time, there's also a very hopeful book. Father Tom is not proposing any groundbreaking strategies or initiatives. He's just saying, let's get back to the way Jesus dealt with people, which was love, respect, compassion, forgiveness, mercy. And isn't that what the community of faith is all about? I really felt that this book should have been called All You Need Is Love, because that's a theme that he constantly comes back to. It ends up being very hopeful, and that's extremely important for people who need healing. So in any case, it's not an easy book to read, but enormously enlightening, and kudos to Father Tom for tackling this very difficult subject. So be sure to pick up Hurting in the Church, A Way Forward for Wounded Catholics by Father Thomas Berg.